All right, stay with me on this. PlayStation cancels a series of live service games. It's working on some others, and is seemingly challenging to get any more off the ground. Helldivers 2 has done well, even though they tried to hamstring it. But they're taking an approach where live service games which require a bigger audience to thrive is being hamstrung by the fact that they want it to be exclusive. Whereas, an audience member of mine made an astute observation. They said, Xbox now has 9 live service games on PlayStation and more on the way. I thought to myself, Sandman, there's no way they have 9. You said brilliant move for them to do this. What is the next live service game you think Xbox will put on PlayStation? Looking like they'll hit that 12 number first before PlayStation does it on PlayStation. Now, when he said 12, I said that's got to be an overreaction. So I quizzed myself because, again, I'm trying to learn this Xbox ecosystem to figure out what it's about because I was like, man, I'm not going to go ahead and look around. So I started to dig in. I remembered number 1, Sea of Thieves. This game recently went to PlayStation and now has the availability of you to be able to do cross-play, cross-platform, just like Forza Horizon 5 is also going into that ecosystem. I said, okay, we got one down. Then I went to the other one, Minecraft. That one is kind of known. It was always basically going to be that. I don't know if at any rate, it has any cross-platform or cross-play, but it is a heavy lifter. It's probably one of the most played games that you'll ever find on the platform, however you want to go ahead and look at it. Then I remembered, based on the acquisition, they had Overwatch, which was very interesting. Overwatch 2 came from Activision Blizzard. Then from their PlayStation studios, they had Grounded, which is a smaller game, but is still thriving because it has a huge ecosystem to be able to go for. Then now they're moving Forza Horizon 5 to the PlayStation platform, which gives them now a racing game that now gives you a survival-based, approach to the platform, whereas a Forza game can't really simply just die because it's only on Xbox and PC. There will now be that cross-side of PlayStation. Guys, y'all got to understand, and let me finish this, and I'm going to say this. Then you have Elder Scrolls Online, having acquired Bethesda, and I think Fallout 76 is also another game that is, in my opinion, a live service game. If I'm wrong on this Fallout 76 one, somebody please point me to the right direction because I think that is going to be number 9 if we add in Forza Horizon 5, even though that has not been released. Now, let me go ahead and give you guys what I think is my biggest observation as to live service games. Many of you know that I'm an avid Mortal Kombat player, at least as much as I can get myself to play these days, which is pretty much almost daily. Like I'll delete, Mortal Kombat from time to time as a measure of just taking a break. And that break is usually to give me time to go ahead and assess some other things. Having played this much, I can tell you that most of my matches comes from the PlayStation side. PlayStation is that one platform that literally keeps a lot of live service games alive. So if you're playing from an ecosystem, and that ecosystem maybe, has crossplay, you'll be much more likely to be able to get matches, to be able to get interactions with players that play on PlayStation. In fact, MKX, Mortal Kombat 11, both those games are basically dead because they did crossplay as a beta for MK11 and then they just abandoned it. If they had opened up crossplay, I think MK11 would probably have a bigger community because a lot of people that bought MK11 on PC and on Xbox would have had the opportunity to be able to play and be able to interact with one another. Now, what's crazy is on PlayStation, MK11 is still vibrant and active. So for some strange reason, and I'm saying this just from the Mortal Kombat community, I'm pointing to a community that I'm very well aware of because this is a game that I play regularly. So now I got to actually go back. If I really want to play MK11, I got to get my PlayStation out, blow the dust off of it, get PS Plus, and then jam out to it. But again, I have MK1 to keep me occupied, so that's not happening. The second game that I can tell you about, because I know for sure that this particular game has an audience that's very active in a live service side that I play, is Tom Clancy's The Division 2. The Division 2 is very weird because it doesn't have crossplay, doesn't have any cross-platform capabilities. So on PC, it's very hard to get matches and such. But when I get back on my PlayStation account, other than my clan, I do play and run around with a clan whenever I'm running and playing the game, the LCN clan. I can tell you with very, very high levels of confidence that I can get matches not only on our Discord server, which has a huge community of folk that are constantly playing the game, shout out to the LCN clan, but also just random matchmaking in different modes to farm gear and to do activities. So Xbox, having just looked at PlayStation's ecosystem, full of players, full of consoles, however, these players are much more likely to have a few live service games under their belt, has decided that they would just start pushing their games there, and then they bought their way on top, pretty much getting into their coffers Call of Duty. So Matt Piscatella went ahead and did a list and said the most played games on PS5 in December 2020 and December 2024. And he shaded the games that reappear twice. Apparently, when you look at the list out of 10, 6 of them are games that are still being played till today, or at least within the same, coffers, like a continuation. At least in the case of Madden NFL 2021, you have Madden NFL 2025. And in the case of NBA 2K21, you have NBA 2K25. But then you also have GTA 5 Remastered, which is their online, I think, that basically is getting this. You also have Fortnite show up. You have Call of Duty, of which now they've cleverly collapsed Call of Duty into a platform. So it gives that MAU a huge bounce, if you get what I mean. If you log into Call of Duty now, it's all the Call of Duty games that you have or whatever it is available, or Warzone and whatnot, that you basically get to see. Then Matt Piscatella shows this list, of which you can now see how these Xbox games are sitting in the top 15, usually 2, sometimes 3 of them. And that's not just the ones that are hosted on Battle.net as well with their numbers. It appears that they found a path to sustainability that PlayStation right now is not even close to. And being able to push these live service games into other ecosystems, in my opinion, makes a whole lot of sense. So, with Forza going right now, I don't think Halo is out of the question. As much as I'll tell you that I'm not a fan of exclusivity, that I would like for Xbox to move their games to other platforms, I also want to basically go ahead and say, man, maybe with reason, Halo can be a flagship game. But you see, the honest truth is, right now, even on the PlayStation side, it doesn't really matter. We just got rumors that they're going to shelve the porting of Gran Turismo, and also Demon's Souls was never going to get ported, but that game didn't really sell well. So a port to PC, I don't know how that's going to hit. Or maybe they just don't want to spend the funds. That's another thing. These ports that they do, perhaps they could invest it in something else. And so they probably were looking to send more games to PC, but are refusing to do so. Maybe it might be wise on Xbox's side to maybe still hold off 1 or 2 unique propositions as well. But at the end of the day, the profits are the main thing in this position, and they are already everywhere with multiplats. Their multiplat games are keeping their studios open, and I don't see any reason why they cannot continue such a strategy as well. So it's a push and pull. It's kind of a tug, I guess, if you're worried about, say some kind of a unique sense of what may be on a platform in terms of games. But then the final equalizer, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that the gaming industry is so saturated. Like, it really is saturated. There are just so many games right now that you can be on your platform, any platform that you choose to be on, except Nintendo. And I'll tell you why, because Nintendo is all about the expense and the cost. But you could basically be on any platform and not miss other platforms because you have that much in terms of games to go ahead and play. And for a very good amount of money, like Nintendo, you'd be buying these $50, $60 games. If you only had a Nintendo, you about lose your mind in terms of your wallet. But if you had like PlayStation Plus, or if you had like Xbox Game Pass, you'd be getting all these games on your subscription service basically dropped on your feet. And Game Pass basically just makes everything so weird. Because even today, with the news of Forza Horizon, blah, 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 Sniper Elite Resistance just got launched. That's just like a new game on Game Pass. You know what I mean? Like, they'll be talking like, oh, boom, new game. Like, this is not happening anywhere else. And then if you look very carefully, you'll find out that, oh, what was that? Epic Games just gave me some new games as well, too, for free. So there's just so many, there's just so many opportunities for you to be able to play games that you will more than likely not miss any game that may, position itself to be exclusives or to be an exclusive of some kind. And you can do without. You just simply can do without. And this is definitely the gaming industry that I never envisioned. But the market, like I said, it couldn't be bothered. It could not be bothered because now these games, after they finish their first set of sales and they finish all of their, whatever they're doing, and they sell their biggest and, to the first few weeks, They become marketing material so that they can basically have maybe possibly word of mouth. Maybe one person gets it free on Epic and is like, hey, have you played this game before? Or maybe they say, oh, this game is free. And then by the time everybody jumps in there, maybe some people like it and then they buy the sequel. That's what video gaming has basically become at the end of the day. And consumers and customers are basically winning in such a saturated market, it's not even, overstated. So shout out to Sandman for even putting out this observation here and, pointing out a reality, ladies and gentlemen, that Xbox has pretty much woven itself into PlayStation's ecosystem in a place that PlayStation is trying to break into. And they're basically just comfortable right there and doing more. Interesting stuff. Talk to me in the comment section. Thanks for watching the video. Appreciate you guys so much. Peace out.